can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together?
Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. I'm in the same place as I was when I announced that we were having a third baby, because I am trying to crank out all of this content while the children are sleeping. If you see this like hazy glow, it is because my computer is down here and I need it to be able to remember what I'm supposed to be saying, because my brain is not here. I'm a potato and potatoes don't have brains. So that is me right now. So basically this is going to be my first trimester update kind of video. I did these with Quentin. I don't remember if I did with Aspen, honestly. I think I did one or two and I was just exhausted with Aspen. So that ended quickly. This baby we're doing a little bit better off, but the first trimester has been difficult. I'm currently 15 weeks, so I'm a little bit past my first trimester, but I'm still going to give you guys all the information of how the first trimester went. If you haven't watched my announcement video and like how we found out we were pregnant with our third baby, go watch that, because that has a lot of information that like leads up to some of the information in this, and I promise it's worth your while. So jumping right into some of the symptoms that I did have during my first trimester. I did have nausea right off the bat. Like, I felt like I knew I was pregnant because it was so nauseous. But I would get like few breaks from my nausea throughout the day to like eat some stuff, which was good. With both of my other pregnancies, with my other two kids, I was literally getting sick like probably every 5 minutes. It was rough. So with this baby, I didn't really have much morning sickness that I saw. I think you remember, I could probably count on my two hands how many times I got sick in my first trimester, which is great, but I was nauseous almost 24/7. So still kind of had the bad effect of like really wasn't eating anything because it was so nauseous, and I wasn't puking it up, but I wasn't also eating it. So I lived on saltines and water to keep myself hydrated and keep something in my stomach. Just a little bit of something for the baby to like, hey, here's your peace offering. Please stop making me nauseous. Another symptom I had right off the bat, I was extremely tired, and I have had my fair share of tiredness in my life. I've had an extreme B12 deficiency, which makes you insanely tired. I've had extreme depression, which also makes you extremely tired. But this is tiredness I have never felt in my life with either of my two past pregnancies. After I had both the babies, nothing. This was like unmatched. I wanted to sleep constantly. I don't know particularly why, probably because I was building the start of a baby, but I was insanely tired. I cannot match this tiredness. Like, I can't even explain it to its full capacity of how tired I was. I probably could have slept for 2 days straight and still been insanely tired. Along with the nausea, my actual morning sickness, or all day sickness, whatever you would like to call it, because I had it all day every day, started at 8 weeks and 5 days exactly. I wrote this down because I would have forgotten that, but like I said before, I only got actually sick maybe a handful of times. So that was very different from my last two pregnancies. So I'm having like trouble, we're not finding out what this baby is until the baby is born, but it's so much different than both of my previous pregnancies. So I'm at a complete loss of, I have no idea what's going on. If you haven't been around for journeys with our past children, I have what is called migraines with aura. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain it a little bit. Mine show up as I get a migraine on one side of my head, and then I start having all the symptoms of a stroke. So if you don't know what those are, some of the symptoms that I get vision loss, I can't speak, my speech is slurred, my face does start to droop, which is like a new symptom of that I started getting this past year. half of my body goes numb. It's the opposite side of what side I'm having a headache on, which is exactly like a stroke, so not fun. I also just like can't get rid of it usually unless I sleep or I take medication for it. So those started at 8 weeks exactly is what my thing is saying. So I've only had one, thank God, because they are extremely rough and I wouldn't wish them upon literally anyone. I've only had one this whole pregnancy. With Aspen, I had them every single week until I went on medication. I do have medication now, which helps my nausea and my migraines. So that's beneficial because then if I do start to get one, I can take my medication and it'll help me along through it. So I did have to switch from, I was going to a midwife, not a nurse midwife. I don't know the exact terminology, so I'm not even gonna try because I don't want to butcher it, or yeah, I just don't want to. But it's not a certified nurse midwife, it's whatever the other kind of midwife is. I'll just leave it at that. At first I thought that my birth plan was going to see eye to eye with her. She did not let me know that she was not going to be birthing my baby in a hospital. She wanted me to birth at home or a child birthing center, which I did not feel comfortable with because I am a VBAC candidate and that was my whole plan. But there is it's a very small chance, but I obviously don't want to put myself in harm's way of the chance of a uterine rupture while I am delivering, because if I was at a birth center or at my house, nobody could stop it and me and the baby could potentially pass away. So I did not think that that was a smart option, especially with the birth trauma that we do have from Aspen and a lot of the birth trauma that Damien has from Aspen. I didn't want to put him in that circumstance. I'm kind of pushing the circumstances of he is quite scared of me trying to attempt a VBAC. He would rather prefer that I just do another C-section so we know that it will go relatively smoothly, but that was my hardest recovery out of both of my births, was my C-section. So we have talked about it and he does completely condone my decision, because it obviously is my decision how I want to push out this baby, either out of my stomach or you know where. So he's being very supportive and realizing that it is okay, and he can have fears around it, I can have fears around it, and we just need to talk about it so that nobody is going into the labor unprepared for what could and will happen during birth. So that's been kind of challenging to kind of settle his nerves about it, just because either way he has birth trauma, and I don't think a lot of people talk about that. Men can have birth trauma surrounding their wives and their child just as much as a woman can have it. Obviously it is a little bit different when a woman has it because it's happening to your own body, but I also feel like they feel it in a different level because they're sitting there and they really can't do much. They can't help, they can't save you if something goes wrong. So I do have a lot of sympathy, and I want to tread lightly when it comes to getting him more comfortable and ready for this birth, and getting myself comfortable and ready for this birth. Yeah, her plans didn't correlate with mine as a midwife. So I made the decision to switch to the same office I went to when I was pregnant with Quentin. And I still have to go see them, which I will be filming my first appointment with them because I haven't had that yet because I've been going to this other midwife. So my first appointment for them at the time that I'm filming this is next week, but I'm not sure what date this is exactly going up, so it could be before, after, I don't know. But we are scheduled for an appointment, so obviously after that, with that video, I'll give an update of everything that's going on, everything that was discussed in the appointment, and how we're moving forward with the birth of this baby. So my ideal plan for birth would be a TOLAC, which is a trial of labor after a C-section. A lot of people call them VBACs, but a VBAC is after you've successfully had a vaginal birth after delivery. So I will be trying to attempt to have a VBAC. My plan is successful VBAC with no epidural. I'm okay with like pain medication. I kind of want to try gas and air if they do have it at this hospital, just because I can take it away. If I don't want it and it's not useful, it can go away. I will not be getting a epidural no matter what happens. I got one with Quentin and it was fine. It did give me back issues that I'll probably have for the rest of my life. With Aspen, it did almost cost me and her our lives, so I just don't even want to mess around with it this time around. So we're pushing forward with no. Damien is also very terrified of me ever getting an epidural ever again in my life, and I do not want to put him through a traumatizing like birth like that, just because this is his child, it's his experience too, and birth is uncomfortable. Birth is supposed to be uncomfortable to a certain extent. So I did make it with Aspen pretty far with an epidural that didn't work at all because they missed where it needed to go. So it is a different day. I do look kind of scary, so we're not gonna go there. But I wanted to jump on here because I didn't finish this. My plan is obviously no epidural. I have since spoken to my new OB and she said that that was perfectly fine, that they would definitely not recommend me doing an epidural because it does seem so unsafe with my circumstances. She said if like worst came to worst, that like if I ended up like absolutely needing one, basically like they are gonna keep like the meds on the side of the bed, and I'm basically gonna have to have my nurse like in there like every like 5 minutes to make sure that I'm fine every time I get like a new dose into my back, and also that I have to be literally like drenched with IV fluids. That usually when you like get an epidural you get IV fluids beforehand, but I need to be like so many IV fluids that it's not even going to be funny. She was like, you will be swollen from how many IV fluids that you need. She was like, because we are not playing games with that. So I think that's pretty much it for like my first trimester update. If I forgot anything, it'll be in the second trimester update. I think I'm doing like a 20-week update just because I have an ultrasound like right before that, so I'll be able to like share stuff from that ultrasound with you guys at the 20-week like update. So just look out for that. I think it's coming out, I want to say May, maybe June, I don't know, because I can't count right now. I don't even know what week we're in, but yeah, so look out for that. And if you have really any like questions like of like anything more specific that I maybe forgot, just go ahead and put them in the comments below so that I can answer them down there and then I won't forget about them. So I hope to see you guys in our next video, and thank you so much for watching.